When CGI was announced, I was just thrilled with the concept. Here, right in New York City, was a convening, but with a real bottom line. And I love the fact that you had to commit to some activity somewhere in the world that addressed one of the many issues, whether it was poverty or health or lack of education.
The idea of this was to respond to a very important environmental crisis that was happening in a village where I served in the Peace Corps from 1998 to 2001.
I had visited the village when the government cut through the isthmus that separated the ocean from the Senegal River. It led to salinization of that river. The water was no longer suitable for irrigation. So my niece Sarah was telling me about having attended an aquaculture conference.
Aquaculture, as you know, is Asian. It's 4,000 years old in that part of the world. But in West Africa, it was really not even thought of.
So I took very seriously the idea that there should be a commitment. It just struck me, let's bring those two things together.
The commitment that my Aunt Sally Menard and I did together was called Yarum Jin. Yarum Jin is a social enterprise, which in Wolof means raising fish. Yarum, to bring up, and Jin, the name of the fish. This is an example of one of the Toast-On meetings that we do. So we had a general assembly, and we had a discussion to talk about what aquaculture was, what they could expect from it, and there was a lot of questions about how could you possibly raise fish in a cement tank. So there was a lot of education that we needed to do, but that's why we wanted to have Toast-On come in and be the key partner in the implementation process of this. Building the infrastructure was hard, so we put together about 8 different basins. We did have a few really successful years where we sold 100,000 tons throughout the year, which for a small village is quite a lot.
It was so gratifying to see how both the Toast-On project, the training that they had brought to the villagers, and the actual functioning of this aquaculture project, and the fact that it could be scalable to villages nearby, and there was interest growing around in the region.
I'm going back in December. We are hiring someone who works with Toast-On who has the capacity building skill sets to work with us on where we can go from here, how to leverage the infrastructure to make the most out of it. One thing that we need to think creatively about is how to create more employment opportunities. Sally's commitment provided an opportunity to bridge a really important NGO with a small village. It created a commitment from the local population to their own development. And as a result, they feel a deep sense of ownership, and they won't let it fail no matter what.